All right. There you go. We've started.
Right. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about mother and daughter relationships and a little bit about how they can differ, how they can be rewarding, and how they can be challenging. I actually have a special guest today. This is our second episode, and my daughter, Isis, she's here with us today. Say hi.
Hello.
She's 19 years old. I actually had her when I was a senior in high school. I was 18, and we kind of have been growing up together a little bit. I could say right now, we're very close, but it has been a bumpy road sometimes, and I want to get a take, on how your relationship might be different than how ours is, So we're going to talk a little bit about growing up together, growing up and, struggling a little bit. She has a younger brother. I have a 16-year-old son as well. We'll talk about Son's Day another time, because that's a whole nother monster. But yeah, Isis, so let's hear a little bit about you. When did you graduate high school and from where?
I graduated last summer, June 2023, class of 2023, from NFA, Norwich Free Academy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I also graduated from Norwich Free Academy in 2005. So I'm really proud to say that, she buckled down, she did what she had to do, she graduated, and, like mother, like daughter in a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Isis, what would you say some of like the biggest challenges you had with me growing up, like as far as having two girls in the house growing up?
Our attitudes. Our attitudes.
Oh, do you think they're a little alike?
Yeah, very. And that can be a lot.
Yeah. Well, I know. It could definitely be a lot sometimes. I don't know how many of you out there have just one daughter, one child, multiple daughters, but I was definitely blessed, to have this one girl and one boy. So I'm definitely really happy about that. And I stopped right there. I actually ended up not having any more children, choosing not to have any more children at all after these two. One of each is plenty, for sure. So even like in pregnancy stage, I feel like a lot of mothers can relate to the pregnancies being different when you're carrying a boy versus when you're carrying a girl. And I definitely feel like there's like a majority of people that say that they got sick with the girl and no, the opposite, didn't get sick with the girl and got sick with the boy. I want to hear how many of you have actually like experienced getting sick, morning sickness or any kind of prenatal sicknesses, right? And I want to know how many of you had it with your boy and how many of you had it with your girl, because it was crazy. With her, I got sick in the beginning, but then not at all throughout the rest of the pregnancy. I remember I had like peanuts one day. They were on sale, and I saw everyone getting them, and I was just like, ooh, those look so good. Bought them, ate a whole bunch before lunch, and I just got so sick. Oh my God. And this one to this day does not like peanuts or peanut butter or anything. It's funny, they say like it doesn't really always mean that the baby doesn't like that food. It just maybe not be agreeing. But in this case, she's always been like super picky. Right from the womb, she knew she didn't like peanuts, no peanut butter, anything like that. It's funny, my son likes jelly, likes peanut butter, doesn't like jelly. So I always had to make jelly sandwiches for her and peanut butter sandwiches for my son. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to, the differences like that. I don't know. Like besides besides like the attitudes, which we'll get a little bit more into, I mean, like, you understand that pretty much when I tell you, like, there's rules and consequences for things, it's for your safety and to teach you lessons, right? Like, I try to teach you how to be a young lady, and I think I've done a really good job. I mean, I'm not going to pat myself on the back or anything.
Yeah, you should. Definitely have. But what are you getting at?
Well, I'm just saying, I think that a lot of parents, when they have like a mother-daughter relationship, it can be really hard to get along because you are so much alike. I feel like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You know, that actually is a thing. I was an only child growing up, and I was raised predominantly by my mom, and I always used to hate a lot of the different things that she used to do and say, and used to make me so mad when I was a kid. And now I actually find myself, you know, almost quoting her, like word for word, a lot of things that she used to say. I'm realizing now a lot of things that, you know, rules that she had in place for me were, you know, just to keep me on the right track, you know. And I try, you know, even though it's really combative sometimes, I feel like it's for, you know, for a reason. And I think at the end of the day, you're learning, you're growing up, and you're getting it, right?
Definitely.
So, what would you think? Do you think, like, so question, do you think I treat or have treated you differently than I've treated your brother, Eric?
I mean, like,
A lot of kids say, "Oh, you treat her like this. You treat her different because she's a girl, or you treat her like this because he's a boy." And
I wouldn't say maybe in this case, like, gender-wise, no, but the whole, like, treating your youngest different than, like, the oldest, like, that, it's, like,
that's a thing.
yeah, and that's a thing in our household, so I definitely see that.
In what way?
Just
Ways.
the rules, the things that weren't allowed for me are allowed for him now. And
He's 3 years younger than her.
yeah.
So I've always tried to maintain, like, okay, well, when when you get this age, you can do this too. I tried for a long time, but, you know, the older he got, you know, I guess maybe gave in a little bit quicker, easier. What's that?
Maybe gave in. Yeah. She gave in, definitely. But for me, it was very strict growing up. But I feel like that was for a reason. And obviously, me being a girl is different too. I'm definitely going to be strict if and when I have a girl too. So I can understand that. And I'll take like a lot of lessons with me that you've given. But
Okay.
overall,
So what's one lesson that you would take with you to share with your daughter in the future that I've kind of, you know, presented to you and instilled in you?
to always know your worth and in every aspect of your life, whether that be work, relationship, friendship. Yeah,
Okay.
that's important.
Yeah. So I think that's very important, and I have kind of drilled that into your head a little bit because I feel like there's a lot of girls that are growing up these days, and they don't really know their worth, and they don't really know how valuable they are, and might be, you know, acting in ways that might be overall not portraying their worth, you know, and in those ways, like, you know, we try not to, you know, be too provocative in certain situations, try to dress accordingly, know when there's a time and a place to act and talk and dress, you know, a certain way, right? Always try to be respectful of ourselves and be aware of our surroundings. Being a young woman in these times is different, you know. There's a lot of predators out there that I try to make you aware of and and it's hard having a girl, because there are majority of like predators out there that are gonna, be in any kind of way, even mental, physical, any kind of aggression. They're mostly men, and mostly towards women, even though towards men as well too. But, women are targeted by men a lot of times, and it's hard, and it's really hard. That's why, I don't even know how old you were, Isis, when I gave you your first can of mace. I've taught her, some self-defense. She's definitely well equipped with some knowledge. I think it's very important to share with our daughters how to physically fight and defend themselves. Right, Ice? You think you could kick a little ass if you need to?
I know I could.
That's right. That's my
Just
girl.
a few little experiences, but that's for another time.
Oh, we can talk about that, but but we want you to be able to. But no, like in self-defense cases, though, it's very important to teach confidence, and as well as a little bit of skill in there, right? How to defend yourself. I think for one of her birthday presents, I definitely gave her this big flashlight thing. And it was like a big, heavy flashlight to keep in her car, but it's actually like a taser. And I love it so much. And when I was a kid, my dad got me my first BB gun and taught me how to shoot when I was 11. And, it was definitely very impactful for my life, because I realize I don't have to be a soft, fragile, little delicate little thing. I can shoot guns and play with knives and, do things that are going to be, might be helpful in a situation one day. So when she turned 11, we went out and I got her a BB gun and got some targets and started, teaching her how to shoot. You remember? Yeah. What?
Pink. It was pink.
Yeah, I got her a pink little shotgun. It was pink. She's still my baby girl. But yes, definitely target practice. I definitely wanted to carry that tradition on. So I think it's important to teach our daughters self-defense, physically fighting, guns. I feel like gun safety, first of all, is important before we even got to pull any triggers, right? We went over gun safety, how to use a safety, how not to put your finger on the trigger, all those things. How did you feel when you were like a little girl and you got, the gun put in your hand? And
well, I was like nervous of how it was gonna shoot out, but it's not that bad.
Yeah. Are you interested in?
We could go to a shooting range, like an actual like.
I think we should, because I've been really wanting to get my pistol permit.
I would get one too.
Yeah. Well, I think we should. I think we just made an appointment for ourselves. Let's hold ourselves to it.
Yeah.
We can go to the range. I've been to the range several times with some friends over the years. Shot some 9mm, 38s. I shot AK 47 and 22. I even went to an outdoor range before, and I shot a M16 rifle from on the ground. It was so cool. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to take you. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, women empowering women and all that. But, yeah, definitely done some mother-daughter things. When I think it's very important, right, to recognize the coming of age of your daughter, and and recognize that she's actually coming into her womanhood, and you can't really. I feel like it's really not a good thing to stifle that too much. There's a lot of parents out there that put such restrictions on their daughter because they want to protect their daughter from the outside world. But I think that in those extreme cases, it's not really doing you any good, because you need to see what's out there. You need to experience something, or else when you're out there on your own, you're going to be in some kind of shock, with what the world is like. You have to experience it. So I think it's good to give a little bit of little bit of rope, a little wiggle room
Mm-hmm.
for you to make your own mistakes. But so there's a lot of people that hold you so close that it just makes you more naive to the world a little bit, and that's something that I've been trying to, teeter-totter. It's really hard to balance, like, what's giving too much freedom and what's, stifling, because I don't want that for you. I don't want you to feel so suppressed and closed off that, you go out there on your own one day and you're, just confused and you don't know how to make your own decisions, right?
Yeah. I feel like when I was younger, I felt like a little more like held close, but maybe like 17, I want to say, like, you started giving me like reasonable leeway. And, even now, like, that I'm 19 and, even cussing in front of you, like, that's one thing that I kind of realized, okay, I can see that she's allowing me to grow up, because in certain situations she wouldn't be like, hey, or,
Yeah.
but I still try to respect it.
Yeah.
As
I mean,
much as possible.
I grew up, where you weren't allowed to cuss in front of your parents. I mean, or any elder, really. It was very much frowned upon. I mean, you'd get in trouble, no matter how old you were, really. So that's something that I think a lot of traditions have gone out the window with over the last couple of generations. But I try to hold on to a lot of them because I feel like they were put in place, for a reason. Not so extreme, like children are to be seen and not heard type of traditions. But, to the point where, hey, you can at least have the respect to not, use vulgarity in front of me, cuss in front of me, swear. And so I appreciate that. But, and then you always say, well, I'm growing up and I'm over 18. And, so it's hard. It's hard having that balance. And I think that it's something that when it's depending on your relationship with your parent too. Sometimes if you're not so close, then you're going to always watch what you say, be on your P's and Q's, a little more tight, a little more uptight, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of mothers and daughters that can't really relate with each other, and they don't really talk to each other about stuff. I think it's very important to have like mother-daughter time too. I mean, we go out to dinners, just me and her, breakfast, lunch, brunch. I set time aside. I try to do the same thing with my son whenever he'll allow me to anyways. He's a little more resistant to, just mommy and me time, even though, I think it's very important to still have. And me and my son went out to lunch. He's 16, like I said, but we went out to lunch just maybe a week or two ago. We sat and we talked about some things. And, even though we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, we were able to sit and relax, and I've been doing that since the kids were little. I take them everywhere together, right? But sometimes I've always recognized, since they were very little, since my son's about 3 years old, taking them separately, because I feel like, especially girls, they're not going to want to talk about certain things that are going on in their lives in front of their brother or other sibling or a significant other or their father or the whole family. And I think it's important to have mother-daughter time, set it aside, and really just communicate and get down to earth, a little bit.
Yeah. And I think we do that. Like, we try to, I would say, like, twice a month? Like, we do, like, go out.
Yeah, on average.
To a nice restaurant and just talk about everything.
Yeah. Vent, get some things off our chest, even sometimes things that are bothering us, that have been bothering us about each other or about, other things in life. That's always a good time for us to unload and get real with each other. We have Liam here.
How's it going?
How you doing, Liam?
Living the dream.
So you have a sister. You have a little sister.
For sure.
So how do you think that your sister and your mother have grown up together and their relationship is overall?
I was thinking, like, she was talking about how she's the oldest and my sister's the youngest.
Yeah, I seen you going.
Yeah, I'm the middle. Just I don't. I said it before, but just for your daughter here,
the invisible.
I'm the invisible one. So
Yeah,
they get, my brother gets some attention, my sister gets most of it, I get none of it. So so it's pretty cool. But
Awesome.
so I do agree on that sense with the younger sibling. I just think that's a common thing. I think has to do with a lot with younger sibling, a lot more care, younger, a lot more mature than the older ones. Probably parents rely on the older ones to be more of a guiding figure than younger ones. That's my assessment of that. But my sister with her mom, with my mom, they have a great relationship. My sister comes home and she can just say and does what she wants, and my mom will just laugh and all that stuff with her.
So they're really close.
They're really close. Yeah, I think my sister has a good relationship with my entire family, probably better than I do in some aspects, for sure. But I think it's because she's the youngest.
She was doted on a little bit.
Yeah, so she's happy with all that stuff. So,
were there any like screaming matches, like door slamming, kind of moments growing up
in my house?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think it's in any house, really.
I just want to make sure that I'm like normal. Like, can you just confirm that there's some kind of there's some kind of normalcy here, because I don't want to be the only one here that's like, okay, like we have these big brawl matches.
Have you ever gotten into like an actual physical fight?
Never.
With your sister?
Oh, my sister?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Nothing like never hit her. She never hit me, but we
wrestling matches.
Yeah. And because I'm also a wrestler, so I would just do my thing. She couldn't do anything, and she knew that.
Who started it?
Yeah.
Who started it?
Well, she started by cussing me out, and then I just ended it. So it was the thing. She could start it, but she knows how it's gonna end. So
that's funny.
Yeah. So we just do the play fight thing. Not too much. Never ever have I ever hit my sister. She gets upset because one time she was laughing and she went like this and hit her head against my knee, and she got a black eye because of that. And she was like, "You gave me a black eye." I was like, "Because you laughed with your head.
Yeah.
You should just laugh with your throat. There's no."
Come on, lady. You walked right into my car. Okay.
Yeah, she did the whole thing of the whole well, you hit me with your knee. I'm like, you called me whatever. What do you?
Call it how you want to see it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, but she's a little princess from where I'm from, at least. But she's not like, I don't want to say she's the center of attention, but she is. But
she's a star.
She likes it. She was a theater person, so she likes being on stage, being a center of attention in that aspect. So I would assume that correlates with just being the same way as a kid.
Yeah.
So I was thinking too, as I was sitting here listening to you, questions, I guess.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between raising a son versus raising a daughter, and what would those ways be, you think? So
I definitely think there's a difference. And again, it's hard because I want to recognize the fact that not every boy is the same. Not every girl is the same. But I would say overall, and kind of stereotypically, the boy is very headstrong, very stubborn, very rebellious. And especially I could say in my sense, raising these two together in a household where it's just me and them, it's kind of like 2 against 1 for him. And I feel like he feels that way.
Yeah.
Even though I try not to make it that way, I'm kind of like, hey, you're going to get treated accordingly to how your behavior is. If your behavior is great, you're going to get treated great. If your behavior is bad, you're going to be not so happy. You're going to get stuff taken away from you. You're going to lose privileges, and you're going to have consequences to your actions,
Yeah, for sure.
So, and I've always been kind of just a level-headed person, and even with my brother too, I'm like, well, you're being
I'm gonna pull a little closer.
Oh,
so you can, no, you're good. you can pull it closer to you so you can sit back. Yeah.
You want to see?
Here.
Okay.
I got you. Let me see.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
Still want to be able to see your face though here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just was making it so
Yeah.
you could sit
There you go.
comfortably.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Continue though.
So even like just what was I saying?
You're saying as a daughter, you said you were quieter. You said something like that.
More level-headed.
Yeah, and just telling him like, you know, why are you gonna be this way with mom? Like, just listen, and I really tell it how it is, and he doesn't like that, so that's how he'll feel. Like tag teamed a lot of times, but you know, like growing up, I got in less trouble than he did, a lot less trouble.
Yeah.
So he feels like I'm also like the favorite too, just because I've.
But that just goes to show how I can never fucking do anything right. Because earlier she said she felt like she had more restrictions growing up, right? But my son feels like she gets all the privileges and she's a princess. And so, like, in my predicament, I can never win. Like, I'm never the winner. Like, I'm always a bad guy to somebody at all times. That's what it's like. I mean, it's like she said, she felt like she had more restrictions than my son growing up. But now, you know, you hear how my son feels like he is not allowed to do more, right? Like, so it's like they both have these perspectives where I'm harder on them. Each of them kind of feel that way about themselves. But in reality, I'm just treating you accordingly, you know, accordingly to how you are, you know, how well you follow the rules, how, you know, get your chores done after school, get your homework done, how you act in school, you know, those things I take into consideration because I realize the fact that my children are my kids, but they're human beings too. You know, there's a little margin for error there, but not too much. You know, I want you to learn, you know, the right way to do things. And so, but yeah, I mean, raising him, it can be very frustrating for me because he's also a lot like me, but in different ways than Isis is like me. Me and her have a lot of the same physical mannerisms. We have a lot of the same, like we talk very similar. The way we talk and articulate ourselves is similar. We have a similar kind of attitude about life. We're both these kick-ass females that don't take any shit from anybody, and we're sure of ourselves. And, you know, I think that I did a really good job of emulating that to her growing up, so where she's very much like-minded with me, although she's, in my opinion, you know, she's a little less mature, you know, obviously she's half my age, but you know, she'll get there, and I already applaud her for the young woman that she's turning into. But we've had our differences. We've had our screaming matches where you know, I'm trying to show her, you know, my reasoning for doing things, and she's just blah, 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 like attitude, talking over me, walking away from me, rolling her eyes at me, you know, just those things are so frustrating. Whereas my son, you know, he gets more frustrated, and we kind of have a different way. I try to still talk with him the best I can, but then to a certain extent, when I see you're being disrespectful to me, you know, then it's, you know, I'm going to be louder than you, and we kind of get into the screaming match sometimes, and, you know, it's really, it gets really emotional. So, you know, it's different, and, you know, he's tested me a lot more. She's less, I think my daughter is, I would say, less of a repeat offender, if I can. Like, you know, she's gotten locked up in the slammer a couple times, but never for the same thing more than once. You know, hardly ever. You know, it's always something different that she fucks up doing at some point, you know. But she learns her lesson. She learns her lesson, and she doesn't want to keep getting in trouble for the same thing. She's like, okay, I fucked up. Let's not do that again, because that really sucked. Getting caught, getting in trouble, getting, you know, and you know, and my son,
or just find better ways.
You know, you know what?
She's like, I already figured it out.
We're gonna talk about this later.
Crack
Okay.
the code.
Yeah, wait till we get home, young lady. But and then my son, I feel like he's like definitely a repeat offender. He's constantly doing the same things over and over and over and over again. So I'm like more and more frustrated because I'm like, listen, when are you gonna learn? Because I don't want to keep getting making you get in trouble, But so I think it's and he's just more defiant and feels like he's in our case like 2 against 1. But even though it's never like boys versus girls kind of stuff, but. Yeah. And he has their chores, are pretty equal, I think, though. Like they had like a rotating chore schedule where it's like, one day you're doing the bathroom and then the other one's doing, mopping, all the floors in the house. The next day it's like someone's doing the kitchen, including the dishes. And, one day you might just have dishes only, or I try to mix it up so where they get the same kind of treatment. Though, usually taking out the garbage, like I said before, there are some traditions that I kind of like hold dear to. Like I'm very fluid, right? I'm very progressive. I'm a feminist. I feel like, if men can do it, women can do it. But I also do have a few little traditional things I do in the household. Like usually I won't ask my daughter to take out the trash. Usually I will make, him do that. They both feed the dogs. They both take the dogs out. They both equally, do the household stuff. He does dishes, but he cooks more than her. He likes to cook more than her. She's starting to cook more, I think, these days. Yeah. But, I mean, he's been cooking since he was young. Yeah.
I'd rather just eat my food than cook it.
I told her she better get a job that pays her really good so she can take
so I can
out.
have my private chef.
Oh. Okay.
Private chef.
We're like aiming. Okay.
There's the drastic.
I have big life goals.
The princess, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
But my son,
nanny, private chef.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever else I could pay for.
Oh, no, she's definitely gonna have a house cleaner.
Nanny.
She's gonna.
Yeah, cleaner and private chef. Yes. Nanny, no. Because having another person raise your child, that's like.
Yeah.
It's a lot about that, and that's just.
I don't agree with that as well, but I do agree with maybe having someone help out.
Yeah, but everyone needs help
to a degree, and I guess a nanny could be as little or as much as you need
as you want, really. But a lot of people just have them raise their kids, and it's just sad.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, but like I said, a lot of people have demanding jobs, careers, and they want to work out a work-life balance. So. Without being too judgy, like we might not be able to agree with that, which I don't agree with that as well. I mean, but sometimes it's hard to have it all. You want your work, you want your job, you want your career, you want to be a woman in the workforce, and you want to prove that you can do it just as well as the man can do it. That's the kind of gist of the lifestyle that we're in right now. But so yeah, my son, I feel like he has a lot going for him, but I feel like women have a little bit more work to do as far as proving themselves in the workforce, being taken seriously. I feel like a lot of times we are underestimated as far as our capabilities, our brain power, our ability to make strong decisions. I feel like overall it's a man's world, but it's becoming less of that, slowly but surely. But it's still there. Women are still getting paid less in the workforce, like for equal jobs in a lot of different areas. And I want my daughter to know that, and I want my son to know that. Again, I don't have too many gender-specific roles in the household, and one day I feel like my son's gonna make someone's young lady, someone's daughter, pretty lucky because the boy can cook his ass off. Yeah, there's not a lot of boys that are in the kitchen. Oh, he can cook. Yeah, I mean, I would literally be calling sometimes, and I'd say, "Hey, I'm running late from work," and she's 3 years older than him.
And I ask him to cook for me. just the maybe like last week, I just asked him to make me breakfast because
She does all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, you know, and he enjoys it. But
and he does enjoy it. That's why
he was
I
8
tell
years
him to.
old. He was 8 years old, like cooking in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yep. He'd like cooking. If I didn't feel good, if I was sick, he would make me breakfast in bed and bring it to the door, scrambled eggs and sausage or bacon or you know, toast and stuff like that. And then it evolved to I'm like, I'm running late from work. He's like, oh well, there's pork chops in the fridge. I'm like, yeah, I'm running late. He's like, well, can I cook? And I'm like, yeah. I come home and there's like, you know, boneless pork chops already cooked and homemade mashed potatoes from scratch and, you know, some kind of veggie and, you know, sometimes like rolls or croissants or something that he can put together and put in the oven. He's really good at that. And I could say that traditionally the girl does the cooking but in my household it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's some differences. But, you know, like I said, overall, the main difference is the amount of fucks not given by my son. Like, none. About, you know, just keep getting in trouble for the same thing over and over. You know, he can be respectful when he wants to be. And I think to most people, and, you know, he is. But I think that because I'm his mom, you know, he's more comfortable. And I've, you know, sometimes I feel like I've created a monster. But then there's times where, you know, he shows, you know, where he gets it, you know. So,
yeah.
What other questions you got for me?
that was one of the questions. I'm trying to think. I had another one, but I can't think. That's on my head.
Yeah. So, Isis and I have gone on a couple of vacations together, solo. I booked tickets for the three of us to go to Puerto Rico. I'm multiracial, again, like I'm African American, Native American, Irish, Russian, Jew, and Italian. And my children are everything I am, plus Puerto Rican. So I tried to, you know, I wanted to let them see the island and take them out there on vacation a couple years ago when Isis was 16 and her brother was 13. But he didn't want to go. It was right after the COVID, you know, big pandemic, and it hadn't ended quite. But, you know, we were flying and we were up in the air, and I wanted to get us out of here, out of Connecticut, and just, you know. So he's like, nope. He's pointing to the map. He's like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, she's like, yes, we're going. I'm gonna get a bathing suit. I gotta go shopping, and then my son's just like
ready to get out of here.
He's picking up maps. He's like, look at all this red zone right here. These are the COVID infested areas. He's like, the whole island. You know, he's like, I'm not going. Like, and I'm like, ugh. So he didn't go. So me and Isis went, and we had a great time.
Yeah.
And then again, when for her 18th birthday, which, you know, I did, you know, which for both my kids I want to take for their 18th birthday. I want to take them out of the country, and wherever they want to go. She wanted to go to Cancun, so we went.
Where is that exactly?
Mexico. Yeah, Cancun, Mexico. So, and it was just, you know, me and her, and then a friend of mine, Desiree. She met us out there after our second day there for the last couple of days, and we had a great time. And it was like a different kind of experience for us because we were both in a place that was different, and we kind of let go of our inhibitions a little bit. I gave her more freedom. I treated her more like an adult. We got fucked up because over there in Mexico, the legal drinking age is 18.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Tequila
is not gonna be my best friend.
Really? You don't like tequila?
It didn't like me.
No,
I tried to warn her. I'm not a tequila person.
And I am my mother's child. So.
And I tried to warn her, but so there was only one night out of the 5 nights that we stayed. 6 days, 5 nights.
We got blackout.
Yeah, we just didn't. We just lost.
Well, I got blackout.
I did too. We were just
Yeah.
we went in the hotel the next morning, like being. It was like a dude, where's my car? Kind of like the Hangover scene.
Oh my God!
It was really like that. Like
oh
we
my
had
God!
lost
Yeah,
like
I had to go through my camera roll.
We were finding pictures.
No teeth.
No, nobody pulled out our own teeth.
Everything was intact, but but no, it was really bad because there was a pool bar. Like, what do you
A
even
wet
call
bar.
it? Yeah.
A wet bar.
God.
So that was bad.
Damn,
like, we
the
were
wet
in
bar.
swimming, and we were just getting shot after shot.
And
Yeah.
the next day we saw all the pictures that we took that we didn't remember taking
Yeah.
in the pool.
I don't remember getting out the pool and onto the pool chair.
Actually, we
Yeah.
were laying there and we were in the pool, and she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go lay out in the sun for a little while."
Yeah.
And
Okay.
there was
remember.
a lady that was in the pool, and she was kind of like hanging out with us. And she got out and she walked by Isa. She was like, she looked dead. She was just so passed out. I was like a little concerned, but I was like, okay. The lady
got
walked
really
by
bad
and
sunburn.
she actually took her pulse.
He's
Like, I just want to make sure.
like
But
a
it was fun.
burn mark. It's just a finger there.
Yeah, we had so
I
much
got
fun.
really bad sunburn.
We swam with the dolphins. We went jet skiing. That was actually
Yeah.
my first time ever going jet skiing too.
Really?
Mine, yeah.
We went out on a catamaran for
And the
day.
dolphin thing. You swam with dolphins?
Yeah,
That was my first time.
yeah. That was my first time swimming with dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
We did some snorkeling off the boat.
Yep, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 18 was great, and I feel like it was a turning point in our relationship where, even when we came back, we had almost like a different sense of respect for each other.
Yeah.
You know, like that was the time where I was like, I need to treat her like an adult, you know, but at the same time, you're still living in my house. I'm still paying the bills. So like and I'm still your mother. And so I'm always going to be up here. You're always going to be down here.
Yep. And do the dishes.
And do the dishes.
Whatever.
She definitely still does the dishes.
Yep.
She helps out
Yeah.
where she understands, like, okay, like mom, works full time. She's doing a lot. She sees me more now as she gets older, I think, as a person and not just as mom. She sees more of what I go through, right? I mean,
Yeah,
and,
I can say that was good.
Yeah.
To say.
so she sees how busy I am and how stressed out things can be. Like, I feel like also it's not a child's place to be talked about and included in conversations that are about like financial stresses, adult relationship problems, things that are going to put stress on them. So growing up, I tried my best, right? When the kids were growing up, to shield them from extreme moods that I would be in sometimes from either relationship issues or financial woes.
Yeah.
They never had to worry about, if I was coming close to the electricity, getting shut off or, I feel like there's a lot of parents that talk freely in front of the children about those things.
Yeah.
And it puts a great deal of stress on the child and they don't even realize it.
Yeah.
So I tried, and I was conscious of that because when I was growing up, my mom, unfortunately did that to me a lot. Like, talked to me about, oh, I gotta pay the rent, and this much money, and I'm behind the car. Whenever we were, it wasn't always, but when we did get behind, I always knew about it, and I was stressed about it. I'm like, oh God, like I don't want to do that. So
Yeah.
I feel like that was an issue. Like, were you ever, inadvertently or made aware of issues like that in your household?
There was a time when there was a problem with our septic tank. Something like that happened, and I was aware of that probably like a month after the situation. So they try to keep it under wraps. But there was some like family issues with that whole thing. It wasn't just a issue with that. It was like a multi issue with the whole side, on our side of the family. So that was
like familial issues.
yeah. So it was just, there was a whole big thing.
Well, like there is in every family.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always big things in every family. I have to,
Yeah.
be the referee a lot of times
Yeah.
in my family. Sometimes people have had to be the referee for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not perfect. I lose control of my emotions, and my anger gets the best of me sometimes.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's been times where, like I said before in episode 1, where we talked about the different types of discipline styles. There's been times where, I whooped my son's ass, and I say that quote unquote, right, in a freely way, like I didn't like beat him up, right, but to the point where he was crying, he got sent to his room, and that's what happens. And I explained to him, like, listen, I've given you this many chances, I've given you this many warnings, and this is that's how a lot of times. But there's so many families that have it worse. that get disciplined worse, no matter the race, right? We talked about in episode 1, a lot of the, households being of color and of, descent from another country, being, immigrants or migrants migrated here from another country, because you had to raise your kids to be tough. We touched on that before. And so it's like, but there's a lot of, families, that are here that are, very plain Jane. You wouldn't expect it. Mr. and Mrs., Smith from the neighborhood, very, Caucasian families that you wouldn't expect, things like that to be going on. So, we could say like people that are, less fortunate, in poverty, people that are rich. It doesn't matter your status in life. If you have to recognize that your children are people too. You can't take it too far, even though sometimes we want to. Yeah. But there's been times where I've hit ISIS, for things that she's done and said and gotten out of line with, broken serious rules with, and I don't think she ever wanted that to happen again. So she, pretty much, she straightened up and kept it going on a good course. But there's
or found ways around it. It was a callback to an earlier joke.
Yeah. I don't think it's very funny. No,
it was funny.
No, it's not funny because screw you. No, there's certain things that I have been I've had trauma dealing with, like my mom, putting her hands on me when I was younger for things I felt like I didn't deserve. For that type of punishment. Yeah. So I try to use the physical punishment as like a very last, like I've told you about this, I've warned you, I've threatened you, I've taken your stuff away, I've done all the other things now. You're going to feel this little pain on your butt, your leg, your arm, something, age appropriate. As they get older, the disrespect, I think the higher up the hands go, you know what I mean? But that's just me. And I think that a lot of parents would agree. There's a lot of age-appropriate things that I felt like when I was a kid I didn't deserve some of the punishments that I got. But we grow up, we live, we learn, and that trauma took me to a place where when I became a mother, I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to discipline my child this way just because of this. So there's been times where I feel like we've come at a crossroads and you didn't like the punishment very much, but it's a hell of a less than what I got when I was a kid. I'll tell you that. You know your grandmother, right?
Yeah, definitely know her.
Yeah, so I try my best, but so we've gone on vacations. We've had some serious bonding moments. I think it's so important. But we've had our boxing moments too. So I think it's very important as a girl mom, right? As opposed to being a boy mom. It's important to get establish a good relationship so that your daughter can feel comfortable talking to you, because our daughters are our future. I feel like, women are held to be, I feel like they should be held to a certain standard and regarded with a deep level of respect, because we are our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunties, and the women that raised us and give birth to us and create life. One day, not anytime soon, knock on fucking wood, you're not going to make me a grandmother anytime soon, but one day you will make me a grandmother, and, you're going to see how you're going to realize so many things that I've, tried to teach you, and you've combated.
So ready for me to get all of that.
She's like,
you're just gonna see. I can't wait for you to see.
And wait.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
She's like bookmarking this conversation 10 years from now.
I know. So, but so you've seen, like, you have other friends that have, have relationships with their moms. Tell me about, like, some of the relationships that, like, maybe about, like, one of your friends has with your mom, their mom, that you can maybe compare to ours, and, like, in a negative or positive way. Like,
I mean, I would say, like, a lot of my friends have good relationships with their moms, but one friend in particular, her and her mom don't have the best relationship, and her mom kind of, like, uses her for, like, you know, like, her money and for, like, rent and stuff. But
So how old is your friend?
she's 20.
Okay, she lives at home.
Yeah.
What age did she have to start paying rent?
I think maybe when she turned 20 or when she was 19, maybe before that.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but, like, it got to a certain point where she was just, like, using her for her money.
Yeah.
And she's, like, staying with a friend now, but that's besides the point. Like, her and her
It got
mom,
to the point where she just got so bad where
they can't talk about things, and, like, there was a certain situation where her mom didn't believe her, like, over her boyfriend, over the mom's boyfriend. So a situation like that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
And I feel like I wouldn't even know what to do if, like, you didn't believe me, like, over your boyfriend or, like, husband.
You wouldn't have to know what to do because that just wouldn't happen. I feel like, you know, you have to believe your children when there's any kind of situation like that. I feel like there's some situations where children can be manipulative and, you know.
Yeah.
But
certain allegations you should just take more serious than others.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, I feel like, that's sad. I mean, you have to, you know, I moved out from my mom's house when I was 15. You know, we had such a rocky relationship. My mom was an addict, you know, too. And so it was a little harder for me, I think, in that case because it was a little bit of trauma from the neglect, from the, you know, not being there, from when she was there, not being understanding, and the physical and the mental and the verbal abuse and things like that. But you don't always have to, you know, put your hands on your child to traumatize them in certain ways. And I feel like, you know, having your child pay rent too, like, that's another topic. That's something different.
So, like, I don't pay rent, but obviously, like, I do help out around the house, and, like, if there is stuff, like, we need to get from the store, like milk or toilet paper or eggs, if we run out, like, she does expect me to, like, step up and get stuff, and I do for the most part. So, I mean, yeah.
I feel like, you know, it's really important to slowly ease, you know, your child into adulthood, not just, like, throw them into it just because, okay, one day they turn 18, now you're an adult, bam, no.
Yeah, like, you have to, like, you have bills now, and that's the kind of sense, like, her mother does to her, like, you're an adult now, you have bills, you need to get into the habit of knowing how it is to pay bills, but really, like, she's letting me, like, you know, obviously save up until I want to get my own place. Like, I feel like that's important too. And
even like how you really show them how to pay bills, just getting them. You give them like cash and being like, here you go. And
when she was 16, she got her first job, and I set her up with a bank account.
Perfect.
You know, we took her to the bank. I had some things explained, you know, and so I gave her a little bit of financial freedom. And I'm not all in her pockets asking her, what are you spending all your money on, as long as you're saving, you know.
But she is a concerned parent, of course.
Yeah, I want her to understand a budget and things like that. So it's hard, but sometimes it's like, I get really, really frustrated because she's still young. And when she gets paid, when she gets that paper in her hands, she goes a little crazy. I think every week she goes out and does something with her hair or her nails or her clothes or her, you know, something. And I'm just like,
once in a while, I like to treat myself.
Every week, girl. I think that, you know, I'm
tisk.
You know, I want her to save more than what she's saving.
Yes, I do. I do need to work on my saving. That's definitely a thing. I'm like
I'm not saving that will either, so don't worry about it.
Yeah,
and
I'm
only 21, so don't even worry about it.
Okay, so
You guys are kind of like right in the same boat almost.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like
I'm buying I'm going to bars and going out places, so don't worry about it too much. But I am a senior next year,
okay.
so it is definitely important. I will agree to start saving. I've realized that
Yeah.
So
now.
she got to the point where she saved up enough money to buy her own first car.
Oh really?
All by herself.
What'd you get?
It was a Hyundai Elantra.
Yeah.
It was an older one. It was like a 07. But
Yeah.
it did the job. It was all black. It got her A to B. And that was her first car accident, unfortunately.
Oh.
So happy that nothing happened to her. But, I mean, God.
The car was in.
It looked like a crumpled up piece of aluminum foil.
Really?
Oh, my gosh. It was very scary.
What happened? If you don't want me asking.
Well,
Be honest.
okay, I'm gonna be honest.
Gosh.
I was doing like 85 in the fast lane, and I needed an alignment on my steering wheel.
Yeah.
So, and there was something in the middle of the road that I swerved out of the way for, but like I was going fast, needed an alignment,
Fast.
and like I swerved off to the left into like the grass area.
Yeah.
And then I tried to like pick up and like get back onto the highway, and I just went all the way off to the right and like through guardrail. I took off like 6 feet, like 7 feet, like
Long,
10
more
feet.
than like 12 feet of a guardrail.
Yeah,
100.
100.
It was crazy. Like it was awful. It was
No, it was
the
really
worst
bad.
phone call a parent could ever receive. It was like I was just
I was very scared.
in between
Really?
work.
To
I was,
tell her about it.
and
Yeah.
she just called, and it was the scariest thing. Like I just heard her, and she was like, "Mom," she was crying, and she's like, "I got into a car accident," and I was like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "It's bad," and I was like, "Oh my God!" I mean, I literally crossed 5 state lines. And I made it to the hospital before the ambulance made it to the hospital with her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was flying.
Yeah.
And I was trying to be careful because I'm like, we don't need 2 car accidents, like right back to back. But that was the scariest thing, you know?
For sure.
But now, it's like a fucking running joke because she's been in 4 car accidents in the last 2 years. All the rest of them like fender
Can I
benders.
ask?
Like it's fucking ridiculous.
Can I ask?
So-
caused by you? Or?
Yes.
Oh.
No.
Yes, you can ask.
No,
Yes.
no.
Yes, it
Okay,
is. Yes, they are.
okay.
They're all her fault.
So no.
All of them.
No.
It's not my fault the paper got in my way.
2 weren't my fault.
The sun
That's your fault. The
the
first one.
The first one was my fault.
The sun blinded me.
The second
And
one.
then the second one, no, the first one was with that same car, but it wasn't a bad accident.
No,
That's
they
what it
didn't say
was.
they were bad. They just were accidents that were your fault.
Okay.
The highway accident was my second accident
Yep.
with that car.
Yeah.
The first one was one where I was at a stop sign. I wasn't on my phone. She swears I was on my phone. I was not on my phone. I put that on everything.
Yeah.
And I was at a stop sign, but like I didn't see the car coming in my blind spot when I was about to turn left.
Turn left.
Oh my God.
And
A red light?
no, it was
Stop
a stop
sign.
sign.
Oh, stop sign.
But he
So
was
I feel like she was on her
I
phone.
thought it was a red light.
So how could you
No,
make this
no.
mistake if you're not on your phone?
I didn't see them. They were in my blind spot,
Honestly,
like flying.
That almost happened to me one time. I will give you the benefit.
Like
of the
I
doubt on
really
that.
didn't see them.
Was it
so,
at night?
No.
Nope. It was
Oh.
broad daylight, Liam.
Well,
Mine
it
was
was
at
cloudy.
night.
It was a cloudy day. It was
Cloudy
raining.
day.
It was
Yeah.
foggy. I could
It was
only see 2
foggy.
feet in front of me.
Oh, see, this is the show. You know, this is the show.
So basically, like we collided.
Yeah.
Like they were coming this way, and I was going this way, and we collided like that. They took my bumper.
Long story
like, clean
short,
off.
2 other fender benders that she just tapped
And this
a
current
car.
one, this recent one I just did, the guy stopped.
Wait, when was this?
Like maybe like
a couple months ago. Like
You're
no,
like-
no,
you're like
no.
yesterday.
It was like 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks
about
ago.
a month ago. Then I don't know.
Okay.
I can't keep track. Sorry.
All right.
So I could keep track. And
Stop
I also
having
know when they're not
accidents.
my fault and when they are. But this current one that I
Scary,
just
ladies and
had
gentlemen.
not too long ago, the guy stopped like too quick, and he
Yeah.
like put his signal on like just late.
Yeah.
And I'm driving like 30, 35. I'm on a 35.
Yeah.
So I didn't really
Driving
have
too
time to
closely.
stop.
Yeah.
I didn't
Driving
have
too
time to
close.
stop.
Driving
I
too
didn't have time
closely.
to stop.
If you were driving
I didn't have
farther
time
away,
to
if you gave
stop.
him more room,
No,
you should have
he
been.
gave me more time before he just turned.
All right, we're not going to turn this into a.
But yeah.
yeah. So this is the stuff that we be talking about.
Yeah.
This is my little buddy, guys.
I also had another car, but
Yeah.
I
Oh.
That's
Blew that.
gone.
I blew that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got her a car after that in my name. I kept telling her to get an oil change. Get an oil
Yeah.
change. Guess what? She didn't get an oil change.
Oh, really?
Guess
Thought I had more
who
time.
blew the engine on a leased car? That was in my name.
Listen.
Well, guess what?
She's
It was still technically on its little warranty, so I didn't have to pay the rest.
I'm
Anywho.
on no one's side. I'm on no one's side. Give it the benefit of the doubt. She's still learning, right?
Anyways, I like her a lot, and we even like each other so much that we
Yeah.
got matching tattoos.
Oh, yeah?
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
She so
I have to get mine fixed. But
yeah, I don't know. She made me get mine on the opposite arm. I have all my tattoos on my left arm, but I like that.
Oh, it's like the white and then the.
It's a shadow of it, yeah.
I like
You really
that.
can't see it from...
Liam has a cool tattoo.
I wish I could be able to show you my tattoo.
I have
look
four.
over here.
I have
So look,
I have
show the
4.
camera here. So it says, mine says in her handwriting, "I love Icy."
Oh, I love you.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
no,
love
wait,
you, Icy.
I got that messed up. Hold on.
I love
Mine
Icy.
says-
That'd be crazy if she wrote that.
God, you got me all messed up here. So mine says in her handwriting, "I love you, comma, Icy."
Mm.
And I call her
Mm-hmm.
Icy. It's her nickname, Isis, my little Isis. And hers is
I love
in
you, Mom.
Yeah.
my handwriting.
Handwriting, yeah.
So we got in the same spot, and so
But I'm not touching this arm, and she
Really?
She didn't. Oh, I'm sorry.
You got a full sleeve on that arm?
Yeah.
You're not touching the other one? Why?
I don't think like right now.
Really?
I
both
have
the same
thoughts,
way.
but
Yeah.
she didn't want to put this on that arm that she already has tatted. So I was like, well, you do it on that arm, and
yeah, because
I'm not doing it on this arm though. So
I have
my
my
she,
sleeve on
she
one
did
side.
a
Do you have
sacrifice.
plans on the other arm?
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking like a red sleeve.
Red.
I have a black sleeve, and a
I'll
red
tell
sleeve
you
would be
this.
cool.
A tip. Be careful with red ink. Because apparently some people are allergic to red ink to the point where
Well,
if it gets in your
I'm
skin,
not.
you'll be completely fine.
Yeah, she has her first tattoo was
Yeah, this was my first
Really?
tattoo.
so she was 17, right? So because of the relationship we have
Yeah.
and how good she's been in life overall,
Yeah, how good I am.
I let her get her first tattoo when she was 17,
Yeah.
and it didn't make her wait till she was 18.
Yeah, I got mine 18. I got mine, I think, 2 weeks before my... No. 2 weeks after my 18th, yeah.
Did your mom know about it beforehand?
No, I came home with it.
I feel like that's
No,
what I
what you
would have
said.
done had she had been like, okay, you can't wait.
You went to a
have to wait.
shop?
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I did in a dorm room.
okay.
Yeah.
I have three of the 4 of my tattoos have been done in a dorm room.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, like home, like house,
This one,
house
dorm.
parties.
Really?
No,
That looks like a professional.
Yeah, after the show, I'll show you on my phone.
Yeah,
cool.
I'll do the same too.
my other-
I have a full
I
sleeve.
have 4
Do you know-
tattoos.
Oh, you have 4.
Yeah.
I've literally my first tattoo was her name too,
Really?
Isis, on my back shoulder. That was my first tattoo when I was 18, and now I have a lot, and I've been working on my sleeve,
Yeah.
but I haven't completely finished it. I have tattoos in other places, on my leg, and on my
Finished.
side,
Wow.
and on my like my ribs,
Yeah.
and things like my shoulders. And on my hands, I have
Yeah.
a whole full hand tat on my fingers.
Yeah.
But I haven't
Okay.
finished my sleeve yet. Do you know my child has a full sleeve?
Yeah, I'm working.
Like, I'm so mad about that. Like, what the hell?
I'm half-
You like beat me to like my whole sleeve.
I
I'm so like,
did.
I'm
what the
halfway-
hell?
I'm halfway through my leg
I
sleeve.
had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm halfway through my thigh sleeve. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm literally missing the other half, and I'm about to get that done within the year. And then this whole thing. I mean, I'm doing this whole thing right now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all the way. Right now, it's my shoulder. It's from chest to shoulder
Yeah.
down here. I got to get this side, and then
Nice.
my whole forearm, and then I got.
So
I want to
Let me-
say my sleeve is like $500 in total.
Yeah,
like
she-
this.
My first one was free.
Yeah, I have a couple
Yeah.
free tattoos,
Mm-hmm.
and like these I have 2 right here that connect, and that's
Yeah.
what makes the sleeve. And together, that's just like
Yeah.
$250,
Really?
like
crazy.
$300.
Yeah, I got free. This one was $140 on my bicep. The front of my thigh was $160, I think, and then
Yeah.
the inner thigh,
Yeah.
which is my biggest one, is
Nice.
like I think almost 1,000 something
Cool.
for it. Yeah, but
So-
it's hyper detailed. Not gonna lie. So
Yeah, I definitely been. You gotta show me after.
yeah.
But I want to know like how you feel if you have a son and a daughter.
Yeah.
Really, would you feel the same about them getting a tattoo?
Oh, I would feel. I'm like, so I was grown up. A lot of time. What's it called? With not with the idea of, like tattoos being a bad thing. A lot of time.
Yeah.
For kids, so I mean, I wouldn't let my kids get a tattoo until they're 18, probably.
Well, either way, even if they're 18, but you're like,
oh, would I care about the gender of who's getting a tattoo?
Yeah. Like more than the other, do you think?
Like honestly,
a lot of times
if I'm gonna be
like, oh no, it's my little girl.
Full honesty, if my son came home with a tattoo at like 17, I'd not be shocked. But if, like my daughter would be like, what? Like,
right?
Like that would probably be my reaction.
That's life. That's like everybody with like, it's just.
I just think because I came home with a tattoo on my shoulder, and my parents thought, like, at the time I had my girlfriend at the time, I got them pregnant because the way I set it up, I was like, I messed up. I'm really sorry. They're like, what, did you get her pregnant? I was like, no, I got a tattoo. They're like, oh, thank God.
Oh my God.
So like, I really set the bar of something worse.
Yeah,
but
so they were like more relieved.
Yeah, so when I said I got a tattoo, they're like, oh God, how does it look?
Good,
I'm
right?
like, it looks great.
Right, you're happy. What about your sister? Does she have any tattoos?
Yeah, she just got one actually this year. Just a few months ago, she got one on her forearm.
Cool.
And that was they didn't care when she got it, but
How
they
old
cared.
is she?
She's 18.
Okay.
19 soon though.
Nice.
Yeah, a year and a half from both of my siblings. No, she's 19 now. She's turning 20.
Yeah.
God,
That's crazy. I know she's gonna be 20 in December.
Really?
I'm literally feeling so old. I'm gonna have a 20-year-old, you guys, in December.
Gonna be 20.
I can't take this.
Yeah.
But so I want to know how many people out here, right? I want to know how many people have experienced. I'm gonna end off the show today with this question, kind of general idea, right? So you can play with it however you want. But I definitely want some feedback. How many people out there have have experienced being treated differently because they're the sister than the brother? And how was that? Were you treated better? Or were you treated worse? Were you treated like with more privileges, or were you treated, more sheltered and couldn't do as much as the brother? I want to know how many parents out here have a different take on how they should raise their daughters and their sons. That's a big question I have. So I definitely want to hear your opinions and your thoughts. Icy, do you want to maybe end off the show with a thought maybe, or
a question,
a
thought to ponder,
possibly?
I don't know.
I'm gonna put you on the spot.
I know. Should have given me time to prepare.
That's the whole thing. What we're doing, we're just going back and forth.
I don't really know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not good at like the off.
So, in your opinion, though, like overall over the last few years, you feel like things have been pretty fair, though?
Yeah. Like I definitely think like me and her's relationship has become stronger and more matured, obviously, as I'm getting older, and I'm telling her a lot more things now, like, yeah.
Being honest with me about more things.
Not
unprovoked
really keeping,
honesty.
Yeah.
Unprovoked.
Yeah, like just like
not really keeping any secrets. I mean,
I just tell my parents I don't care. Like, I'm literally
that's what my son tells me.
I'm literally 21.
Yeah.
There's no punishment anymore. Like,
yeah.
I messed up. They're like, yeah, that's all on you.
I mean, that's kind of how I feel like even at this age right now.
Yeah, because you're over 18. Once you do turn 18,
exactly.
you kind of hit a threshold.
Yeah.
You know, you cross the line. You made it. You know, it's an accomplishment. You know.
Yeah, I went out like.
You made it without me killing you. So.
Yeah. I went out like twice in a row to the bar, twice in the night, and they're like, I felt awful the next 2 days. They're like, well, that's on you. Like they're like, yeah, it's your choice. So I think it's an age.
It's good. Let them experience, the freedom, but also, I think that the way that you have a relationship when you become an adult, it depends on how well you are able to communicate when they're children too.
Sure.
But yeah, being a girl mom has been awesome. So you know, I've had my fair share of football games with my son, and she had the pom poms.
Yeah.
You know, it was like different times,
There you go.
different things. They had
Yeah.
different interests. You know, she enjoys a lot of the same things that I do too.
Mhm.
Though we both like to paint. You
Yeah.
know, I got her into painting and things like that. Things that she didn't really think that she might like at first, but I'm like, you know, trust me, and she trusted me to, you know, lead her in some ways. So I hope that, you know, she can just like keep going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I would say to any girl out there right now that might not, you know, you might have lost your mother, you know, you might not be around your mother, you might not be close to your mother for whatever reason. Just keep trusting your heart, doing the right thing, and know your worth. Do not let people make decisions for you. You know, that's a big thing that a lot of women fall victim to, is being told that they're not as strong-minded as a man or as strong-minded as a boy, and they need some help making decisions in life. Whether it's, you know, straight up saying it like that, or, you know, kind of just being treated that way, so you come to think that way. Some of our traumas as young girls come from being raised so differently than boys that we don't even value ourselves the way that you know, the way that boys value themselves. And sometimes vice versa, of course, but majority, a lot of women are falling victim to low self-esteem, so low self-esteem, and being told that they can't do things when they really can do things. So just always follow your heart, never give up on your dreams, and, you know, like I tell my daughter all the time, reach out for help when you feel like you need help, whether it's something with your emotions, if you're in a bad relationship, if you feel like you need to get away from somebody or a situation. Never be afraid to reach out and use your voice. You know, so always value yourself as a young woman, and as you get older too. I mean, you know, the older we get, the wiser we get. So definitely always take heed, and I say treat your daughters well, you know, because they are the future, and they're the ones that are going to rule the world one day. You know, they're going to be making the decisions for everybody, calling the shots. I do value men and their input when they can be strong enough and smart enough to lead, you know. But nowadays we're finding that it's the woman that needs to take control and take the lead in a lot of situations, in business, in the household, managing the finances, raising the children. We as women wear so many hats. So I think it's important to raise our daughters to be multifaceted and to be open-minded, you know, so not to be buckled down into one role, you know, because nowadays women are playing every role they want to play. You know, I'm a business owner myself. I own Jack's Cleaning Service, LLC, for 14 years. I've been a single mom for a very long time, over 15 years. You know, I am the head of household. I take care of the financial responsibilities. You know, I cook, I clean, I try to raise good children. I have pets at home. You know, I play pool. I'm the captain of a pool league, a billiards league. You know, I wear a lot of hats, and I enjoy them very much. I started this podcast right here, which I've been wanting to do, you know, for a long time, but couldn't really quite find the time. But now that you guys are a little older, I'm finding myself with some free time, because you don't give a fuck about what I do anymore. As long as I'm out of your hair.
I'm living life.
You're doing your own thing, you know. So now it gives me a little bit of freedom to do my thing. So whether you started your family young in your teens and you were a teenage mom like me, or, you know, whether you started a family, you know, and you were in your 20s and got married and did it, quote unquote, the right way, and did it, you know, and followed true to your path, or whether you're later in life and you started a family, never sell yourself short, you know. Just always keep in mind that when you're a girl mom, you have to open your mind so much, and you have to be able to adapt to this world of being a girl mom, because girls are going to give you a run for your money in every single way that you could possibly imagine. So again, I just want to know from you guys who are listening, I want to know how it was like for you as a sister growing up. I want to know what it was like for you as a brother growing up with a sister. And I want to know what it was like as a parent, raising a girl, raising multiple girls, or if you had one of each, if you had boys and girls. So, I'd like your input, and I'd like to hear about what you thought of the show. And, maybe we'll have Icy on again. Maybe one day my son will come on and we can talk a little bit about, what it's like to be a boy mom and from his perspective. But at this point, don't hold your breath. So, I appreciate you.
I would love to come back on here and either talk with you again or sing. Maybe.
Yes.
Sing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
My daughter
man.
is talented.
Oh, yeah?
I don't want to pat myself on the back.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Before we leave the show,
No.
You're like,
See,
I'll
she's
sing.
always
I'll
like,
sing, but not now.
not now.
You gotta let me prep.
Yeah.
girl,
No.
the girl can sing.
There you go.
That's for sure.
Slam Jam was actually a year ago or 2 years ago today.
Yeah, a couple of years ago at NFA.
There, this thing called Slam Jam. It was like a basketball tournament thing at my high school, and I sang the national anthem for it.
Yeah,
Did you play
she's
any
great.
instruments?
I did play the clarinet for a couple years.
Oh,
I
really?
can probably still do a little something, but
There you go.
No,
when it comes
her
out-
vocal cords are her instrument.
Yeah. I'm
But-
acoustic. That's all I play. Guitar.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I love electric guitar.
Yeah, my friend has electric guitar.
I love acoustic, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much better.
Acoustic.
My dad used to play both acoustic and guitar, so
Yeah.
that was something a fond memory I have.
Yeah,
with my
I got
dad.
a wash. I got my mom's Washburn.
Okay, very nice.
So
Maybe we'll have to get you two together one day and do a little showy show.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it right now. It's gonna happen.
Oh no.
Yeah, yep. That's gonna be one show. That's gonna be
Oh,
another
man.
topic one day. We're gonna do some. Have a little
Maybe we
talent
could do
show.
that, yeah.
Talent show.
Yes.
Oh god.
Yes.
Yeah, I got.
So, thank you again, and thanks for listening, guys. I hope you guys got a little insight about what it's like to be a girl mom. Again, I want to hear what it's like for you, because every experience is different. Thanks, Liam, for your input as well.
Of course.
As
Yeah.
always, we always value your
I'm here to serve.
opinions and your stories and your memories and your experiences.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, Ice, thanks so much for coming, and you guys have a great rest of your night
Thank you.
or your day, whatever you're listening.
Bye.
Bye.